It is now 6:31. Call the meeting to order. Can I get a motion to approve the agenda that may be amended?
So moved.
Okay, second, Rob? Okay. Michael, you would like to add appointment of a deputy fire warden,
Sorry.
and we'll make that number 11.
Can't hear what he's saying.
Okay? And then 11 will become 12 and we'll move down. So, all in favor of the agenda as amended? Aye. Approval of the minutes. First one is May 29th, 2024 was a special select board meeting. Rob, you were actually in the meeting, so, did you have time to go through it or?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I don't see any changes. It's neither on my side.
I've made changes to the minutes in your packets compared to what's online. What I did was clean up some of the language in section 3 of the loan agreement. And I added, so I took out of, you're gonna get to these minutes next, but,
So on, let's just go to 29th right now.
okay, so.
On the loan agreement, do you know what the changes were? There's a dollar amount, and there's the RF number.
Yeah,
Okay,
the RF numbers were incorrect.
okay, the RF numbers were incorrect.
And,
Okay,
and the other change was I added, the motion that was made out of the executive session online. These were in the wrong, minutes.
okay. So do the minutes that are in front of us right now
Have the changes.
have the changes?
They do.
The RF numbers are just whatever, it's the dash and
Yep.
twos and whatever. Okay. So,
Okay.
the executive session. So,
Make a motion.
all in favor? May 23rd, special select board ones. Can you go through what's, if there's anything different here, as I went through on the internet side?
The only change I made in these minutes was I took out, what's that, the motion, out of executive session.
Okay,
There was a motion made, that should not have been there. It was supposed to be in the 20. May
Okay.
29 minutes.
all right, and I got a motion to accept the May 23rd.
so moved.
All in favor? May 13th, special meeting. This you were not in, Rob. It was just Chris and I. Did you find anything in here, like little corrections?
I haven't made any changes to the minutes beyond this.
Okay, I have last one and this one here, Chris.
Make a motion, we accept the minutes of May 13th.
All in favor? You can't make the motion, you are.
Oh, I can't say.
You have to abstain.
I abstain.
Select board minute of April 22nd, once again, that was Steve Perrin, and just Chris and I. I'm sure there's no changes here at this point on this one.
Make a motion, we
All in favor? Aye. All the minutes have been approved. You want to appoint select board chair and
think we should move that again into executive session, please.
select board member, a select board member feedback and concerns. I don't have any of this.
I do.
So go ahead.
A couple of things. Where are we at in terms of on the vote when we, an article that was on the town meeting in terms of the district and where we stood with the school district? We were going to look into the potential leaving.
Yeah, I do believe the idea was in June to start looking into the impact study.
Okay.
I said it's July when the year starts for the.
Okay.
Everything-
I just, I was
Everything in the
questioning.
March votes is for July,
Okay.
and there's been a couple of things going on. And
Well, I knew you were involved with some other stuff.
So we've been talking to, Michael and I have been talking on how to move forward with it, but it's really in July, and Will is going to help out in on it.
Okay.
Just to give an update, on it, since you bring that up underneath concerns. Roger Rivera and I went to a meeting at the Woodstock Library, Middle School, High School.
Yep.
Where they're talking about the new building, bringing up 3 or 4 different things or whatever. 887, which the, governor vetoed.
Mhm.
Nobody knows where the state of Vermont is gonna go with education. They're setting up this whole board to start looking into stuff and everything. I don't think they're gonna go forward with the new bond vote in September like they were looking at. We've asked them just to wait till the state knows what they're going to do. I think if we see a vote, it will be March, so we'll have plenty of time starting in July.
I just had some
Yeah, there's people
some
coming
voters
to me
ask me,
too.
townspeople ask me, you know, where it stood and I think we can just.
And I just answered any of the questions. None of this stuff that we voted on starts until July 1.
That's good.
Okay?
Good, and then we do it. And then, I was also asked about mowing on the road. Did that go out to bid?
No, it didn't. It's something that, we've had to put on the back burner with everything going on. And I know it said it's something we were gonna bid, and then it turned into something we were gonna take on instead of go out to bid. And then I think we've just kind of had to pedal back, and I talked to Tom, and Tom's just continuing at the same rate that he's been doing.
Okay.
So we're just short of being in limbo on deciding whether the town was gonna do it or not.
Okay.
You know, we had the demo here with Killington, mowing Killington, the access road.
Yes, we're getting into some contract things because it's a contract.
I just asked if it
No, you
was-
brought it up that way, but if we get it deeper.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
It was just brought, it was asked if it was going out to
Yeah.
bid.
So the answer is that
Not this time.
not at this time. It's
That's a good
still with the
answer.
same, whatever, at the same rate as last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah. Okay, thanks.
Rod, do you have any questions?
No, I have nothing, no.
Okay, so I'm gonna open it to public comment. At first, this time, I'm gonna look at the screen. Is there anybody that would like to ask a question that's zooming in? And then under open public comment? Everybody's shaking their head or nobody's raising their hand, so I'll take that as no on the Zoom part.
Ken,
Hand went up.
Hand went up?
Yeah.
So Ken Wanzer, go ahead, you're muted, just so you know. No, you're not.
Okay. Any further update to item 7 on the May 29th meeting minutes?
Ken Wanzer asked about the job description for the highway form prior to the current published version. The prior job description would have been posted about 12 years ago, and he would need to locate it before sending it to Wanzer. After the May 29th meeting, Michael had a little, health, fever.
I didn't take my.
Tick bite. So, he's just really fully back on, I think, Friday.
Yeah, Ken,
We have HIPAA here, so make sure we're.
Ken, you're.
Yeah. That's why I didn't want to say. Yeah.
But it did result in fever, a long one, and a high one.
So can you get back onto that for Ken?
Yeah, Ken, has Lucretia spoken to you, and you do plan on meeting with me tomorrow, correct?
I will get back to you on that, Michael. Okay, I'm not sure at this moment what our schedule is at.
Okay,
Okay, so the answer is not at this time. And, Michael's back full health. Thank God. And, can you just get back to Ken on that?
I will.
Okay, thank you. So now, is there anything else, Ken? It looks like you muted yourself. I'm gonna go to the public with anything as a public member, not as a police officer. Andrew, anything? Steve, I'm just going down the line, left to right,
Please do.
okay? How about you, Steve?
Couple of things. One, I wonder if the town or Killington, the ski area, have put any thoughts into all the work that's going on at the bottom of the road. Some type, and I'll use the word lights, and I don't mean traffic lights. I mean a down light that lights the sheriffs, because many times you can't see them.
See the who?
The sheriffs, when they're directing.
Oh, you're talking, okay, so not during the construction,
So the winner.
for next year's winter, when the
Right.
sheriffs are out there.
If the light system could shine down, be put, I don't know if now is appropriate to put it in.
The issue that we're having with that is that we own the town road and the sheriffs are really in the middle of the Route 4.
So you can't light Route 4.
It's not our road. It's the state road. We would love to put a traffic light down there so the sheriffs and the police don't have to sit there and put themselves in that danger, but it's not our road.
Maybe discussion with the state about a light, not a traffic light, might be a broachable subject.
You have the right people. That's right. Can you just bring that suggestion to them? It could come either off of the Killington Road or maybe off of the opposite side.
Has it ever been done anywhere?
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
Has it ever been done anywhere?
A
I
light.
don't know where I've ever seen a traffic officer standing anywhere that's actually illuminated, other than being illuminated by either the lights or wands they're using. Whit, maybe you could comment on
Or
that?
they have their vehicle.
I've just never seen a spotlight on top.
Not a spot, but a floodlight that would cover the area.
Again, I've never.
And again,
seen-
I don't know if I've seen it either,
Yeah,
but having driven through that.
he's wrong. I'm just, I mean.
Yeah, no, it's something that I was wondering
Instead
about.
of like, Michael, can you reach out to V-Trans and ask them, or even ask,
Or we could ask about better lighting the intersection.
right, better lighting the intersection?
I think framing it
Increase
like
safety.
that might be.
Yeah, instead of like, so can you go to V-Trans? It's a great suggestion. It's just that,
Yeah,
you give the suggestion to them.
I'm
Let them say yes.
Yeah.
Who needs to go wherever. The other thing I have is, things have changed, in the last year. And I'm wondering if this board would be interested in considering putting out a note that anybody who was a former member of the department, the fire department, because the scenario has changed, the individuals that no longer employed by the town was the issue, and people could not be given a position back, but could apply and say they'd like to, and it'd go through a process.
I think the board has already said that it was going to, I think Chris, you and I had both said already, we're giving it time to calm down. And I think it's up to the fire
It's up to the
chief
fire chief that
and
does the
and
hiring.
the town manager, because we don't.
And we've been speaking to some on an individual basis.
So people have been able to,
Just come speak with me about it.
And this is not the select board
We don't hire and we don't fire,
fire.
okay? So that's perfectly clear.
I know I've spoken.
That's his job.
I know I've spoken to two probably in the last couple of weeks.
okay, I just wanted to bring.
We didn't ask anybody to resign. We don't do that. That's not our job.
We took the position that they resigned and they got a little ugly. And we were, because there was like two, I'll even say in the fire department, I thought there was 5 different sections of different groups or whatever. And, you know, we, meaning Chris and I, just suggested or whatever to like stay away from upsetting the fire department as it's rebuilding. So now it's up to these folks, and I think they are going. You just said that, right? They're talking to the
Yeah.
fire chief, and that's between them, and if they're accepted, they're accepted. If they're not, they're not.
Right, but is that a public knowledge?
Well, they know they can go. I mean, if you're asking me to write a letter saying that I forgive them, I'm not gonna do that. I mean, they quit,
But they're welcome back in a hearing?
you know?
They can come have a conversation.
You can have any conversation they want.
They're not blackballed.
I don't have.
We don't have a blackball list at all.
I know there's,
We never once said that word.
I'm not trying to act naive. I know there's a lot of history, and that's one of the reasons why I'm speaking to the people that are coming back, so that I can understand some of that history, and I know that there are relationships between those that are not on the department now and that may not mix well if they were to come back. So these are just Many,
But that's gonna be
many
the
of the
personnel.
topics. No, I'm not going beyond that, but these are just many of the topics I'm
Because
having.
I don't want to hear it. because-
I didn't say a carte blanche, come back. That's not what I said.
Mhm.
Just,
They are talking, what I keep on hearing is that they are talking with the fire chief. That's what I'm hearing,
okay,
you know? I mean, I would love to pull up this email while we're on here, but I can't find it. That after, Mr. Paul, had to leave, I received an email from Chris Lahart asking me, knowing that the, fire chief is gone, if there was any possibility that he would love to throw his name back in the hat. I'll find it, but I did not respond.
thank you.
I like to end it with you on that funny note, okay? The magician. So Patrick, you got anything?
No,
Donald?
Just a question about the fire department. Is the folks who are looking to come back, is that a volunteer position? They're volunteers, I'm assuming?
I don't know what they're asking to come back for.
We don't know. Again, we don't hire or fire.
Some are different requests.
That's our,
Some want to be volunteers, some want to be,
So the fire chief will be here tonight with the fire chief report?
he intended to be here, but there's a structure fire in Pittsburgh
Okay.
that he had to go to.
All right. So I guess
He
the
might
next-
be able to make it near the end of the meeting.
Okay,
But I do believe he would be answering the same, because it's a personal, like, we don't ask you who's looking for you to hire and fire, correct?
right.
As a board, this is something that you do with the town manager?
Right.
And
Yeah, we
even
can't-
even if the fire chief was here, he's not gonna answer certain questions. All he's gonna say is the same, is that he has people going and he's having a conversation with them. Where it goes, this board doesn't know, and we're not supposed to know. Until it blows up and we get a whole list of resignations and it's all full.
I kept my question very simple.
Okay. Anything else, Don?
No, sir.
Debbie?
I've been mostly interested in the Article 5 that was supposed to be on the agenda on the March town meeting regarding the possibility of the students instead of going to Woodstock High School, going to Rutland High School. And I've heard a lot of really good things about Rutland High School and the Stafford Technical Center. And a friend of mine I ski with every weekend is Brent Barnett, and he's the band director. And I've watched some of his concerts, and they're professional, you know, and I think Rutland has a very good school system. And Michael Dick was my dentist for years, and he was the head of the school board, and he always never accepted anything but the best for the students there. And Rutland, of course, Rutland High School is much closer than the kids going in the bus all the way to Woodstock. And my three sons went through Killington Elementary and Woodstock High School, and I always had to get them to the school bus by 7 o'clock in the morning. Oh, that was like a nightmare. And so,
So you'd like to know where Article 5 from the March vote is?
yeah, I'd like to encourage work on it. And I haven't heard anything about
Right.
that since around March, so,
So Chris asked that underneath selectmen's concerns
yeah,
about where we were at it. And
Yeah.
that's where I've got a bad ear, so I don't know if you can hear what they were saying. So, we said that the vote in March, everything takes place starting July 1.
oh,
And we're gonna get to work on that July 1, but I also went to a board meeting at the school last week, Wednesday,
yeah,
with Roger Rivera.
yep,
And if you read, the House and Senate passed bill from them, 887, okay? that Governor Scott just vetoed. Inside of that, it's talking about fewer and newer. It talks about going to schools that have like Stafford and regular education.
Yeah,
It talks about relooking at all of Vermont education system of what they were supposed to do, starting back in 1997, 1998, when Act 60 came to try to make school more in line to what student count that we have. And so we're gonna come back and start looking at this in July, because our budget, the vote March, and it starts in July.
okay,
So we're gonna move forward. You should start hearing something like the second meeting of July, maybe the first meeting of August, Deb.
okay, of the select board or the school?
We'll have it here from the select board, because that's the school, the town voted for the board to instruct the town
Okay,
to start doing stuff. We're not counting on Woodstock to help us get out of the district.
yeah,
Yeah. Okay.
yeah.
Do you have anything else, Deb?
No, I just, I hope that, I know it's a contract and whatever, but the Rocks always did a great job cutting the grass, making the Killington Road look really nice. And, I'd like to encourage the town to continue using, rock, and it makes the town look very presentable, and that it's steep, by the old white birch, the whole heading south, the right side, very steep, and so they always did a good job, and I know that it's expensive, but in the long run, it's worth it.
So the town wants to take care of the road continuing. There was a suggestion of putting it out for a bid, which everyone would have to do the same good work, same nice work. It was not put out for a bid this year. It was being looked at also at the town employees doing it.
Yeah.
But as Michael had said underneath selectmen's concerns, I think that was another one of your questions, that for the current time being, which I would think is the remainder of this year, okay, that Tom Rock was told to continue to do the work,
Okay.
and he's agreed to do it at the same rate as last year.
Yep,
And so I don't think we would be making any changes in the middle of June or July, when our winter is hopefully almost here again in a couple of months.
Well, it
All
felt
right.
like we had no spring.
I don't think that's the intent,
Yeah.
okay? The intent was originally, we looked at other alternatives because we are budget minded and these costs keep creeping up in every angle, okay?
yep,
And so we're just seeking bids, we're seeking comments was all that was made about it. And we have the same prices we did last year. We're not making any moves.
So Tom Rock's on for another year,
okay, good,
all right?
yep.
Any other, we've gone through? Okay. So, Board of Liquor Control, there's just one that was up here, and it's really for a smokeless, I believe, tobacco license. No, it's for tobacco license.
Ken has his hand up.
Go ahead, Ken.
So I apologize. I missed a part of the discussion there with Steve Feiner regarding the fire department personnel. So to clarify, is it my understanding that, okay, the fire chief and the town manager have the sole responsibility and authority to hire and fire, okay, the people in those departments?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Holds true in any town department.
If it's
have no-
anybody, the
we
only
have
one that the
no right
board
now.
has control of is the town manager, okay? But when you have a person or a group that all of a sudden quits, it does reach the level of the select board. And that's why it hit the select board some year and a half ago or whatever it was, okay? And it became an issue in town, and like I had told you when your first meeting last week, that we're back in person, it's like, It ends up at our table. So that's
I
what
don't
happened.
think, I don't think we want to go through, okay, the history of why that occurred. Okay, unless if you want to open that up.
No, because it's already over. The board did what it had to do back then when it came. Your question was you wanted to make sure what Mr. Finer had asked. And we
Correct.
had said, yes, that is correct.
And that's it. Okay, then no need to go further, okay, into bringing the select board into it, unless if
Thank
you
you.
want to continue. Thank you.
No. Is that it, Ken?
That's it. Thank you.
Okay. So the, underneath Board of Liquor Control, there's also tobacco licenses that are given out. So Fire on the Mountain, Glass Gallery and Smoke Shop LLC, looking for application for a tobacco license. It's a renewal. And just get a motion to let the town clerk swap this in the show. All in favor? Aye. Okay. Peggy and Lucretia called me last week, waiting, the license was running out. They just wanted to verify that they could move forward with it. I said, yeah, sure, go ahead. Don't hold someone up because now all of a sudden there's new state license things, Chris. It was never, now you just go online and you fill it out.
It's all online.
It's all
It's been that way
online.
for
It's already
20 years.
started. And they also like, you know, it doesn't even matter if the board says no, they move forward. Okay, so there's an approval for the town's clerk office thing.
I appreciate it.
Okay. So then we did have an emergency meeting the other day, last week. And it was on, and those minutes are probably not written up yet because it was just
I don't see 'em.
last Wednesday. But it was for change orders 2 and 3 for the road project. One, it should be 6B, right? Or is it one? No, it is 1B. It is 1B and 6.
Well, it's kind of 6B.
Yeah, okay. And that is from Anthony Way down to Route 4. So do you want to run through what some of the changes were, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, just a quick synopsis. Change order 2 was regarding some stormwater permitting mitigation efforts that were needed. So they just had to purchase some material to mitigate stormwater pollution. And change order number 3, when the project was bid out, the idea was to put in some plastic pipe. However, just to back up a little bit, the town's installing a dry line there with the anticipation of connecting it into the main line that will run all the way up Killington Road or all the way down Killington Road, whichever you prefer. The pipe that's being installed on East Mountain Road is ductile iron. We prefer the ductile iron, and the town doesn't want 2 different types of materials to make up its water system. So change order 3 is the change from a plastic pipe to a ductile iron pipe to match the rest of the system.
And with that, there's a protective wrapping that goes around that pipe for erosion protection. And then it's a little more labor. But there was also, what was in 2 was the extra manhole that we had mixed that. We had, that we didn't miss out on but it's $64,000 worth of change orders. And if you look at number 2, like we did, there was some negative numbers also that certain things got taken away that wasn't needed.
They get credited to us.
They get credited to us. That's why it's about $64,000 for the 2 different change orders. It was a $2.6 million contract, like I had said in our meeting that day last week. They were some $1.2 million lower than the next lowest bid. $64,000 in my mind of a change order by June 8th or whatever it is, so 10th today, with the projects ending in July. I think is pretty good. Build a house and then all of a sudden you forget some of your stuff and it could be $60,000. So, I just wanted to I asked Michael to put that because I know there was some confusion about the meeting being here, but it did say Zoom only because the 3 board members could not meet together. So we did it by a Zoom call. No one could be here to open up the door. Michael was out sick at that time, so he couldn't get here. So we held the meeting by Zoom. So I'm gonna open it up for like here on that question here. Is there any questions from the public on the change orders?
Just what I said last week, I think there should be some kind of master spec for the town that whatever we're gonna do. You know, the more you put in your specification, the less chance there's gonna be a change order.
Okay, and we hire on a water engineer that made the specs. And that was one company that did it in the beginning. Then we started working on, which I think you weren't here for, Michael. And then the Frange group came in and started doing up above. And we didn't catch that. It was already spec'd in as PVC 900 pipe down below. And the new engineer that's designing everything is using ductile and said, let's use that. Picking up an extra manhole, you're only gonna find that on the job site at the time.
Understood.
And I'm gonna stick to that. We do hire on an engineer that is drawing all the specs and is making sure and sending somebody out on the job overseeing, and then they come to us when there's an issue. So this change order had some raising the price up, but there have been takeaways, and we don't need to really get into the public about taking away from the budget. So, but I appreciate what you're saying.
Yeah, we moved engineering firms through the process. We started with one. And we found we had duplicated efforts going through things. And so we shifted courses and decided to just stick with one engineering firm. This piece was already done ahead of time. And so it wasn't caught. So
Understood.
on the spec, and that's why moving forward, we have this one engineering firm that does a great job for us and very efficient. And I would not see this happening ever again.
Yeah, and I don't want to beat a dead horse here, but I think what's unique about this situation, it's a brand new piece of infrastructure for the town. So usually you have a spec, like we follow the V-Trans specs for the roads because we have a road. So if anybody wants to install something in the right of way, they have to put it back like the V-Trans spec says. But we don't have a water line, so we don't have specs for a water line. Our
We do
O&M
now.
Our O&M manual will have specs for every piece of material that we have throughout the entire system.
Go ahead, Deb.
Yeah, so far, is the project on time and at budget? It was supposed to be all done by July 15th or something?
That's what it's looking like, July 5th.
July 15th, good. And it's to date, it's still at the budget that you expected?
Well, like I had just said, there's a $64,000 addition on these two things, but on a $2.6 million budget,
Yeah,
64,000 is like 1% or,
Just start to.
So, it's there, but also on the same part that when we accepted the bids, when we put it out to bid, the next lowest price was $1.2 million higher. So this is still 1.1 million plus lower than the next price.
yeah.
So,
I just,
yeah.
just,
So, yeah, we're not, I can't sit here and say we're on budget because we just approved $64,000 worth of changes to the original budget.
yeah,
So we're about 64 grand over the budget.
okay.
You're within a comfortably acceptable margin.
Right.
And the final piece that we'd also say is, July 15th is a time period where the base coat is supposed to be installed on the road.
Garage
That doesn't mean
goes back
finished.
up and the
That
garage
means there'll be
goes
a
back
base
up.
coat to drive up and down.
And then people will be, they could be doing one lane
Road finish
traffic.
on either side.
Yeah, but they may be doing one
Yeah.
lane traffic. That's in that's in the contract. So we're hoping July 15th is on schedule
Yeah,
and at least that they can be getting traffic going.
And I
at least
agree,
one lane.
and I agree with you as you look at it right now. It'd be shocking.
It is, it is, it's like,
Together quickly.
But if you drive around the back of the shack
Backside's different.
and you look down, they've got it pretty much at grade and smoothed out at a lot of
They're
space.
installing water line this week.
They're installing water line this week.
So it's.
They worked on, you could see up on the east side where they put in the temporary sewer line. Because they're getting into the water end of the sewer, where they're putting the replacement, and that's where it popped up with that other.
Do you have penalty clauses in the contracts?
Do we have penalty clauses in the contract?
If they don't get done by,
I would have to go back. The contract was a very long contract, but I'm sure there's something in there. But, on the same time, there's, there could be some things that held us up on their side.
there's a buffer.
But I don't really see much more past July 15th, to be honest with you. July
I'm actually
15th, I think
encouraged.
will be a
I
real
was
good.
more concerned that we kept this, mind you, this was supposed to be done a year ago. And we fought to keep this contract in place so that we had the same pricing going into this year because we felt the pricing would go the other way.
And they did ask us for a clause to kind of raise, and we said, no, we'll let you do your other July 7th storm work, right? But you're not raising our prices because of that. You can do it in the spring, in the summer, fall, or whatever. Spring, summer.
Yep.
So, and I think it actually, I think we learned a lot on this thing on here, Chris, is that I think it would have been a hell of a lot more hectic if we had this done when it was supposed to in the fall time last year instead of the spring.
Possibly. We could have,
Yeah,
we learned.
but, okay. So any questions on Zoom for the change orders 2 and 3?
Jim, I got a question, or the whole board, but
Okay.
I got a question. It's on the topic, not just 2 and 3. When's the timeline for the next part?
The next part?
Yeah, so once we're done.
That was one of the things, we're in executive session this afternoon at 1 o'clock or 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
We're hoping to come out sometime in the next couple of weeks with where we're just getting into contract talks and stuff like that.
Okay.
So permitting and a whole bunch of other stuff. I can't see anybody online. If they have a question, if you do, just speak up. One.
I got an eye on the.
Okay,
On the
nobody's
hands,
asking
no
questions. Okay. All right, so let's move on from there. We got department reports. We got town manager report, Michael.
Okay, I always say I'm gonna be quick and I never am, so I'm gonna really make an attempt this time. We've just about secured all of our loans for all of phase 1 of TIF. The next up is, there's been some complaints about stormwater runoff on the access road. We're addressing that. I've met with landowners, talked to them.
East Mountain Road.
East Mountain Road, and our engineers are addressing it. And then the construction of the pump house has begun. They've poured the foundation and they've even started work on the well house. Quick update between the time I wrote this and now. I talked to Jeff Hopper, who is our hydrologist. He's going to be coming in with the drillers as soon as he can, is what he said. They've been pretty backed
And
up.
that's on well 3.
And that's on well 3, and they have to come in and do a little bit more work on removing some debris from the bottom. And then still working with the state on doing the discharge test. Road project, plans are 90% complete, but we are trying to work through some permitting hurdles and, there's been new wetland rules have been adopted, et cetera. More to come on that here in the near future. And then blasting's underway, as everyone can tell, and we're still on projection for substantial completion by July. The new town hall, it actually looks really good. The section that we plan to move in is just about complete. The town's going to redo the lighting there and install the internet. We wanted to move June and then early July, and then we started getting kind of nervous because July is a really busy time for town hall because that's when tax bills go out. We pumped the brakes a little bit. We think it would be more responsible to enter the new building in late July.
You also got year end in June.
Yeah, so I think it would be cleaner if we waited till late July. And then we have a new solicitation for bids out for the construction of the vault stairway and the removal of downstairs wall. RFQs are due July 5th. I might push that back since that's the day after July 4th. It's not a good time for contractors.
Have you been able to garner any interest?
We had a pre-bid meeting today. Russell Construction showed up. Ever since we started this project, there has been a push, instead of getting a general contractor, to have a construction manager kind of lead the charge. I think it's something we're gonna have to have a conversation about here. All right, general governmental operations. Town did receive a report that Jason Sasma's dogs are no longer at the Bow Rock, and we do plan on following up on that. The Public Works Director's been working with state officials to maintain the beaver dams along River Road. It's an important thing, and we make sure to contact the state before we do any work on those dams. We can, from what I've heard, is we can chop away about a foot at a time from the top. Don't quote me on that.
We're allowed to let
the
a
lead
little
of
water.
I'm not the
We can
lead
lower
on
the,
it.
we can lower the water level 1 foot.
Is that right? Okay.
Yeah,
All right, well, Abby's been leading the charge, but she's been coordinating very closely.
and they want
I knew
to
that
be
foot is
fair.
nothing about it. We did put a sign up to help support some of the local businesses down to Killington Road. So I want to thank the resort for very quickly meeting my request to get that paid.
Can we get one more
Yeah, for coming down.
coming down the road?
I would like to see one actually at the T facing the other way too. I mean, if we're gonna get one more, get two more.
So people that are driving.
When you're
up-
actually sitting, I never saw the sign for 2 days.
Yeah, I saw it coming
It's-
up West Hill. It's right there on the post on the right side.
I'd like to have it across the street pointing that they are open down below. And I think the cost of doing two more is
Yeah.
negligible.
They weren't bad.
No.
Cause then it's not really saying, it's really saying something on businesses are open.
To the right, it's got an arrow point.
I know, but we can get another arrow somewhere facing.
Yeah,
So when we're doing other work along, we can.
and the arrow is separate, so I can move.
Right, that's what.
Reasonable.
Okay.
All right, so the town did get awarded the 85,000 Vermont Outdoor Recreation Economic Collaborative Grant to make the trail safer, the trail crossing safer across 100. You will also call that called the VOREC grant most often. We received another reimbursement from FEMA for about $350,000. The contractor did repair the wall in front of the bakery.
Yeah,
Looked pretty good.
looks good.
Yeah, it looks good.
He's a good guy.
Quick turnaround on that too. And, the town was not awarded a Class 2 paving grant this year, like we had hoped. That, there's no way to be competitive with that. It's just whether it's your turn or it's not your turn. And I believe they have an algorithm for how much road you have, Class 2 highway.
How much did we historically in the past get?
Well, the max is 200,000. So I'm guessing you always applied for the max.
Right.
So we're gonna be looking for a section of road to pave that might be a little shorter than what we had planned.
Okay.
We'll follow you back up with you on that.
We also just got sort of the storm log section that's gonna get paved anyway too on East Mountain Road.
Oh, yeah, there's still paving going on, no doubt about
No, but I
that.
mean, that was gonna be due in another year or two and now it's 85% covered or whatever.
We had a June KPA mixer that was hosted at the golf course. Heard it went well. And road foreman advertisements have been posted. Bob Metowski has stepped up and is overseeing the crew. They've been cleaning up on Thunder and Brook. I think what we're gonna do is start getting a weekly workload plan, or at least where they're gonna be located it, and putting it online every week. So
How are we doing with the road painting?
no start on road painting yet.
When you say road painting, you mean those stripes,
Yeah.
the lines?
Yeah.
We brought that up, Andrew, when he talked about the Teslas. We're gonna be late June.
Oh,
early
so like,
July.
okay, I don't know if there's.
Yeah, because we're trying to hope that some of these East Mountain Road is paved and, because I think it's July. When will they start doing the pavement up on? There's work going on in East Mountain Road that's shutting it down during the daytime. So,
Just asking.
yeah, so we can get it in there.
I know that last year.
I mean, we can pull them in like in the next 2 weeks, but then
And that's
we're
like,
not gonna get everything done.
that's like a whole new, I might have to get his contact
I give you
information.
the contact.
Okay. It's like a new thing there. All right, the listers are gonna have a conversation with the select board on the reappraisal. The original idea was to perform the reappraisal through vision by means of a hybrid model. And, the lister had a meeting today with the state, and I believe here in the near future, the lister's gonna be able to give you a more in-depth, purview on that. The Recreation Committee and Planning Commission has decided to move forward with performing a recreation master plan study and has received multiple RFQs, and they will request a presentation for the select board at the next meeting. And not included on this, but very important, the town has the VLCT golf outing coming up, and we do have a team made up of Guy Keith, Rob Hecker, Peter Bissell, and Aaron. Yeah. Thank you.
Next up is police chief report.
Great. Provide a snapshot of where we're at. May, let's do month of May. This year, total instances of 153 for month of May, 84 cases with 69 calls for service. Year to date, from January 1st, 2024, I went through June 7th, a total of 1,158, 492 cases with 666 calls for service. It's about a 10% increase, 10.18% increase from 2023, which showed 1,051 incidences, 490 cases with 561 calls of service. Continuing, looks like we got a couple applicants that may pan out. They're started their background checks for 2 potential hires. We're continuing our directed patrols. We're also participating in Governor's Highway Safety Patrol, click it or ticket, plus cell phone use. This is stuff that's funded. We do those usually above and beyond our 40-hour work week. It's paid for out of federal money and state money, and allows us to go out. We get money to be able to purchase safety equipment that benefits us. It doesn't come out of the general fund from our budget. KSAR is going well. We've got 21, still 21 active KSAR members. We've kind of pulled back our training from weekly to monthly now. Weekly training, we wanted to get everyone up and certified, at least with some basic backcountry wilderness type rescue stuff, which we're currently all 21 members are certified in that. We've got a big training coming up in July with the state rescue coordinator, Drew Clymer. So we're going to do a big training. Killington Resorts offered to assist with that and provide some lift service as well. Yeah, so it's kind of where we're at. Things are moving along, and I'm happy to see some applicants for potential hires.
Hey, Red, what's
Yes.
the difference between cases and calls for service?
The calls for service are phone calls that come in to our phone bank, to the 422-3200 phone number. So those are,
What are those calls typically for?
it could be citizen assist, it could be general questions. It could be someone reporting a crime.
Okay, and then cases?
Cases are, could be simple assault, it could be traffic stops, it could be really anything that generates a case from those phone calls. Burglaries, larcenies.
Am I allowed to ask a question now, or it's not?
Rob, do you have a question?
No questions.
Do you have any questions? Nope. Okay.
What, I'm just curious, do we?
Can you ask, we're just trying to make it, you could ask me, and that way, sometimes you're not gonna get there, but sometimes some people can get a little, and just.
I don't know if we're having any break-in of homes or cars or anything like that, if we have a pattern or anything like
And I
that.
can add, what, do we have any?
No, it slowed down. There was an issue. Every year we get some parking lot stuff with vehicles. Believe it or not, out of all the ones that we're getting, vehicles weren't locked, believe it or not. Burglaries typically do happen in the slow season, month of May, when houses are vacant. Last number of years, though, those seem to have really dropped down. I think there's more people in town on the month of May than we experienced in the past. There's not as many vacant properties.
Thank you.
I'll add to that. I've made a commitment to do ride-alongs with the police department. I did my first one last month and I was pleased to see that part of Mike Hoffman's shift was to drive some of the back roads and just check some of the houses to make sure that they didn't have any doors that were open and windows that were propped up.
And less bear complaint. We're getting less bear complaints this year. Whatever it is. They're out too, but everybody's used to it. I think people are just used to it.
Yeah. Bears are getting more respectful.
Yeah.
Coming out in the dates on
It's
So
true.
then we have the Killington Fire Department, and as you had said, there's a few months in the house in Pittsfield that Killington would probably had to pull that group. I mean, I'm just gonna go through here for May of 2024, what was given to us. There's total incidents of 56, fire was 26, EMS 27, both 3, okay? Total incidents year to date, 203. Calls to date at this time, 2023, 185. Notable incidents, training updates. One member passing a firefighter 1 and 2 program. The other didn't complete due to having to take hazmat. One member passing the firefighter 1 from the Middlebury class. 3 members take an advanced EMT class at the EMSA. 1 member started EMT class in Chester. In-house training man hours for May, 348 hours. 3 members got to Twin State Fire School in Wells River, Vermont. Apparatus and equipment updates. Rescue 2, which is our rescue, W's
Yep.
vehicle. It is, still out of service, researching of replacement of it. Okay. Engine number 1, regular maintenance is going on at Earl's. Engine 3, maintenance at Earl's to get some electric issues fixed. Ladder 1 is on limited use to no ladder certification.
But we're working on the.
So you're working on the
Yeah, yeah.
certification,
Yeah, right.
okay? Well, it's, so, but it says limited use and it's.
No, I get it.
And it's working on it. Station updates, the backup generator is back up and running. Personal updates, the current roster is at 26. And then you said your roster is at 21 for KSAR, so there's 47 throughout the 2 departments. I think that's a huge difference than prior.
Are they,
And they assisted with cooking at the rec for the green up day. And they got Killington Fire and Rescue in the Upper Valley Regional Mutual Aid System. So, without having, Craig here, I'm just reading off what he had wrote for the meeting. So, just, to both of you, the police department and the fire department, thank you and good jobs and thanks to go from there. Go ahead, Patrick.
Patrick Cushing? Just point of clarification, you said there's 40 some. Is there, between KSAR and the fire department, is there no overlap?
It's a few.
Okay.
There's not a lot. There's probably 3 or 4.
Okay. Okay. So it's like upper 30s, low 40s of.
That's good.
Yeah, so, okay, and there's nobody asking questions on that. Okay, so we're going back to the agenda.
Yeah, just a reminder.
So it'll be coming. We have open public comment again. I'm gonna open it up this time to in-house, in person, with in public.
No.
Andrew, anything public? Patrick, anything public? Don?
No, sir.
Debbie, anything else? Okay. Anybody online for public comment on number 10? Not seeing any hands going up. Item number 11 is the appointment for Department of Fire Warden. Can you run through? This is what we added on.
Mark Fury is the fire warden. We have to have a deputy fire warden as well. It was Paul Ginther. Craig Bowman has requested that he be replaced as he replaced Paul as the deputy fire warden.
And I think that's taken place so that we wanted the chief or acting chief to be one of the fire wardens because they're on and then you go from there.
That was.
You need
that's
a,
what-
do you need a motion? Yeah, you do need a motion because it goes to the fire warden in Rutland County. I believe.
Yeah.
So can I get a motion to appoint Craig Bowman as the fire warden? Assistant Deputy Chief Fire Warden.
Yeah, motion.
So moved. All in favor? Aye. Okay. So then we got, I guess you did go other business, no other business. There's nothing else. You went through a whole bit of other business in your town manager's report, right?
Yes.
So executive session, contract/labor relations agreements with employees. Can I get a motion to
Motion to move into executive
at
session.
7:28?
7:27.
7:27, all in favor? Aye.